Hello and welcome back to another episode of Sports Speak. I'm your host, Spencer Ripchik.
And I'm your co-host, Tanyon Loose.
How was your week started off this week, Canyon?
It's been pretty good. Keeping busy, but nothing to complain about so far.
Yeah, sounds good. Not as good as two different Penn State teams played this week, which rolls right into our favorite news of the week. Tanyon, what caught your eye this week?
I really liked what the wrestling team did this weekend. They had two different duels at the Spooky Nook Sports Facility in Manheim, PA. They took on Sacred Heart and the 23rd ranked Oregon State Beavers. So, against Sacred Heart, there really wasn't much of a competition, to be honest. Penn State won 47-3, had 4 pins and 3 tech falls in that match to go along with a couple more major decisions. So, I was kind of astounded how fast the duel went by, just because they were really just that dominant against their opponents, and didn't really last very long. So, that's good for that team, I guess. But then against Oregon State, the score was a little bit closer for the first few matches of that duel, but Penn State really pulled away towards the end. It's kind of scary how good the back half of this lineup is going to be for Cale Sanderson's squad. When you have 2 national champions in a row, and Carter Strachey and Aaron Brooks, and then you have Max Dean, who's a national runner-up in his past, and you have Greg Kirkfleet, who's also going to be probably a favorite to finish in the top 5 this year of the heavyweight class. So it's kind of scary for any team. If you don't have a big lead against this Nittany Lions squad going into this last couple of weight classes, you're going to have some problems taking them down. So, Penn State ended up beating Oregon State then 32-7, thanks to those guys scoring some bonus points at the end there.
Yeah, I heard those first couple of matches went by in a matter of minutes.
Yep.
Very, very quick.
A lot of pins and a lot of tech falls real quick.
What caught my eye this week was Penn State women's soccer took down Monmouth to advance. They took them down 3-1 to advance in the NCAA tournament. It was big news. Peyton Linehan came back on the field after missing most of the season, but she did come back with a leg brace on her left leg, and for the whole season it was a big question, where is Peyton Linehan, since she had such a good start to this season. And then Allie Schlegel looked like she was back in full form, scoring a goal in the game as well early on to get them up 1-0. And Rachel Wasserman also contributed in the win. So all around, a big team win for that team. And even with the leg brace on Peyton Linehan's leg, she's still really fast. Her speed, Allie Schlegel said that she actually wanted her speed for Christmas, even with the leg brace on there. So, it was a big bounce-back win, too, after they lost 3-1 to Michigan in the first round of the Big Ten tournament. And now they're set up to play Southern California, or USC, who dominated it in their first game, round winning 6-0 over Grand Canyon. And they have a junior midfielder, Croy Bethune, which is a big name to look out for. She had a hat trick in the first 10 minutes of the game, and she leads USC with 16 goals in the season. So, yeah, she'll definitely be a big name for Penn State to highlight, and especially for that new 3-back system to try to stop her.
Yeah, I think I might be a little bit scared if I'm them. So that was our favorite news of the week, but the biggest news of the week for Penn State and around the Happy Valley area is unquestionably the men's soccer team taking home the Big Ten title against Indiana this weekend. So, Spencer, what are your initial thoughts on their title win?
To be honest with you, I did not expect it to be that big of a win. They won 3-0 in the whole Big Ten tournament. They kind of washed all the rest of the teams, shutting out every single team, which was pretty big, which I didn't think was going to happen. Penn State had a more convincing win over Indiana than in the first round of the tournament against Michigan State, who they beat 2-0, and they beat Indiana 3-0. And then Penn State is now one of the lower seeds in the NCAA tournament in the bracket at number 12, and now they face a plethora of opponents like Pitt, who if both teams win, they could face Pitt. If both teams win, then they'll face each other and renew that rivalry.
Yeah, I think I was honestly a little surprised as well that they really got that 3-0 win there. At the end of the season, it almost looked as if the team was kind of falling apart a little bit. I think they had 3 straight losses at one point. They lost to Indiana 1-0 in their second to last game of Big Ten play, or maybe it was third to last. I'm not 100% sure. But it was somewhere around the end there. They lost Indiana, and they lost Ohio State, and obviously they definitely picked up their play a lot in the Big Ten tournament and with those 2 early wins there. But the Hoosiers have always really been kind of the thorn in Jeff Cook's side everywhere he looks. He's always losing them. I think it's Pierre Reed who's I've been with the team for 6 seasons and have yet to beat Indiana. So, it just goes to show that this team has really been a roadblock in Penn State's path just for a really long time now. And, they've been the dominant force in the Big Ten for, years and years at this point. So, I was surprised at the win, but, it seems like the Nittany Lions defense has really been the difference maker for this team in their recent games. I think it's 4 straight clean sheets now for Chris Shakes and that defense that's led by Brandon Hackenberg. So I think that's really kind of been the difference maker for this team over the last couple games, as well as some improved play on the offensive side.
Yeah, I think that going into this Big Ten tournament, into the NCAA tournament, they'll be really sharp. And on their side of the tournament, they have Notre Dame, who's won the ACC. And they have a guy named Jack Lynn, who is the offensive weapon of the team with 8 goals. And also Dawson McCarthy is another guy Penn State needs to look out for, who was hot in the ACC championship game with 2 goals. And if both teams were to progress, I think it would be a really fun matchup seeing the Big Ten champ and the ACC champ duke it out on their side of the bracket.
Yeah, I think that'll definitely be something to match. I mean, Penn State has to get through one of Hofstra or Lipscomb first, the first round game, as well as Pitt has to play someone else first before they beat them. And I'm not 100% sure in the format, but I think it might see the Nittany Lions traveling to Pittsburgh to play them. So, I mean, that'll be interesting. I've yet to go to a men's soccer game this year, actually, but I mean, I might have to consider making the trip out there. I mean, my mom went to Pitt and my dad went to Penn State, so it'll be a little bit of a rivalry game for both of them, and they're huge soccer fans. But I think it'll be definitely a game to keep an eye on, for sure. I mean, their play recently should make Penn State fans feel pretty confident about their chances. I'd say they've been dominant, really, and throughout the Big Ten tournament and their final game going in here. I've said several times, I think, on this podcast now how important momentum is, especially going into postseason play. So I think, just with how well Penn State's been playing, I think this team is honestly inspired right now. I mean, they have a lot of veterans on that team who, frankly, this is going to be their last year and the last time they play collegiate sports again. So I think that they're really just fighting out there every game, and they don't want to stop playing soccer.
Yeah, I feel like as soon as they got into that Big Ten tournament, a switch went on, and they really thought, like, this could be our last year. We have to beat Indiana. We have to beat all these teams and make our way into the NCAA tournament. I feel like the NCAA tournament is just like icing on the cake. I think the main goal is to win the Big Ten, but now that they've done that, I feel like now they can go on to just do better and win some games in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I think this team is definitely motivated. I feel like they themselves kind of think that they've underachieved a little bit over the last couple of seasons, kind of missed out on some opportunities to bring home some titles and go farther in the NCAA tournament. So I think it's definitely something to keep an eye on for Penn State fans.
Mm-hmm. Now that all the hype around Penn State is out of the way, we're going to do our first ever tier list that Tanyon kindly made of Big Ten men's basketball jerseys. So, do you want to start off with Michigan right here?
I'll start off with Michigan. I'll zoom in a little bit so we can get a little bit of a better view. But, this is honestly one of the more basic uniforms in the Big Ten.
I was thinking like D or C.
D or C. It is like a kind of a timeless one, I guess. And, it has changed a little bit. I guess they got their new Jordan sponsorship a couple years ago. I think they used to be Adidas or something like that. But, I'll put it I'll go with C if you're good with that.
Yeah, I don't mind.
We can always move these around at some point as well, so we'll go with C for now. All right, next up we got Nebraska right here.
Pretty unique jersey.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about the font. It's kind of...
I kind of don't like the color in the back.
Yeah.
It's kind of like off-white or something like that with the
numbers.
dots.
The numbers, kind of too thin for my liking.
Thinking like D or F?
I'll go with D. I don't think it's that abysmal that it belongs in the F tier. But I don't know. I don't know if any of these jerseys belong in F. None of them are so bad. I'll put this one in D for now, and then I don't know. Do you think any of them belong in F?
Yeah. It's gonna be an unpopular opinion. I don't like the Penn State pink and
the pink and black. Wow.
I don't like the Penn State.
Really?
I think they wear them way too much. And
I do agree with that one.
I think we don't have to put an F, but we can put it in D or C.
You think a D?
Yeah, I think the one. I think the Ohio State one next to it is way better.
I think I would agree with that. I just don't. I guess the Penn State one is literally just their actual uniform, just with pink instead.
I feel like if they did I don't know, white in the back, it'd be cooler. I don't know why they. Pink obviously for breast cancer, but.
Yeah. Well, it was for the original colors, but I just don't know. I don't know. There's nothing really spectacular about the uniform either. There's not even any stripes or anything on the side.
No, it's just Penn State.
I feel like they could go better, kind of go bigger and better with it. So I'll agree with you. We'll move to D for now. We'll go with Wisconsin up next.
Their font's kind of basic, not gonna lie.
Yeah, it kind of just reminds me of almost like a high school basketball uniform.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just kind of there.
Badgers fans are going nuts.
You would probably make this uniform for
it does.
$15 on custom made.
Looks like some junior NBA stuff right there.
Yeah. All right, we'll go.
You want to go D again?
Go with D
Dang,
again.
we're
Wow,
hard.
D
We're
tier's
hard.
really filling up.
We're
real
harsh
quick.
on these guys.
I haven't even had to scroll up to go to the other ones. All right, this Rutgers one though.
I like the Rutgers
I'm a
one.
big fan of this one. I think they wore this one like a couple of years ago, and I haven't really used it since. But I pretty much just took like my favorite uniforms, kind of from everyone's teams, or ones that I thought were interesting.
Yeah.
So.
I'm thinking like B.
B. All right.
I mean,
I think I'd be. I don't know if I want to.
Oh wait,
there's an S. There's an S and an A.
We're gonna put it in A then.
A, B. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'll go with A. I think I'm good with A. I like it, but it's definitely not like the best of the best. I don't think. I'll go back with this.
I don't understand Purdue's like. What was that font? Was it supposed to look like a train or something?
Oh yeah, I think that was. Well, that's how their actual like school like.
Yeah, it's supposed to look like a train.
It's supposed to be like the whatever the I don't even what is the thing. It's something like cow something. It's on the front of a train. It's like that little.
Oh, thing. I know what it is. Oh, I don't know what it's called though. So it's like red usually. Yeah,
I don't even know.
Oh,
Anyways,
that's what it's supposed to be.
But yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. But so I definitely give them props for the font there.
Yeah, I think it looks cool.
And I mean, I like the color as well. It's like the off gold.
Black and gold.
Color as well. And it's a pretty clean uniform. I guess they have like a little black stripe down the pant here, and I don't know. It's not like they're doing anything too much, but I think the font is good. The colors go well together. So what do you think, like B or C? You think B?
Yeah, I'd put it in B. I don't think it deserves a C. It's not as bad.
I agree. I definitely like it more than the Michigan uniform.
One, yeah. Michigan's basic font.
We'll go with B. All right, next up, we got Ohio State.
I think these ones are sick.
I really like the color.
Black and red.
Here. I mean, Ohio State, unfortunately, has some of the best colors in the Big Ten uniform-wise.
Yeah, black and red.
And I think they really did a nice job here, kind of accenting the uniform with the red. I don't know if I like the Ohio State logo on the front of the shorts there. I kind of like when logos are on the side.
Yeah, I feel like they had to stick it somewhere though.
So I don't know if I want to put this one in S. I think A. Would it be alright with A, you think? Or what are you thinking?
Do you think there's a better jersey here than that one?
I don't know.
I think maybe I like this one, yeah.
Which one? You like the Michigan State kind of camo one?
Yeah,
it brings me back to like, I remember when I was younger, they would always have like the opening season games where they'd play on aircraft carriers.
Oh, that's dope.
I miss those so much. I wish they still did them, but I think they had problems.
Kentucky and Duke did.
Yeah, it was Kentucky and Duke. North Carolina would play a lot, and I think Michigan State was the other team. It was usually those four, but I think they kind of had problems where the court was too slippery and people would get injured too often because they're playing in the ocean.
Yeah, you gotta go in the ocean.
So I mean, if you're asking, you think this is S?
Yeah, that's the best one out of them.
You like just the camo? I think it just fits because it's like Michigan State Spartans, and they had like the cool like military kind of base uniform. And I think the font like goes really well with the camo in the background.
I'd stick Ohio State's in S too.
You put them in S? All right.
Yeah.
I think I'll side with you there. I don't have any problems with the uniform.
All right, what are your opinions on? I don't know. I'll go scroll out a little bit.
What do you think?
What are your opinions on the Sprite Michigan State?
Oh,
the Sprite colors. That could be F. We have to stick one.
There's gotta be a 1.
Stick that one in F.
You think?
Yeah, that in Minnesota. I don't like Minnesota.
I just don't know like where the lime green even comes from. Like I mean, I know they have the nice. I like their regular like colors, like the darker green with the white. But I don't know where they ever got the idea to use like a really obnoxious green from. So I mean,
some Green Bay Packer colors. Yeah, stick it in F.
Could be even worse if they had like an all lime green jersey with like white font. That would be like down here somewhere.
All right, you want to go to another one that's F? I think.
What do you think?
I think the Iowa one's gotta go in F.
Iowa, yeah. There's unfortunately kind of a low. Well, why does it keep selecting here? Iowa, I mean. Yeah, you think it's an F? It's also just the photo doesn't really do it justice.
I think
there's a low quality photo.
They have like, the numbers like basic. That looks like.
It's just like okay, like I'm comparing it to this Illinois kind of jersey that's like a similar design. I feel like Nike probably just made a bunch of these. I like this Illinois one considerably better.
Yeah.
Than Iowa.
All right, stick it in F then.
I think. All right, F it is.
You gotta be harsh out here. You gotta make some better jerseys, I think. I've never even seen that.
This Northwestern, yeah, I think I found this one. There was like a couple a couple years
That one's kind of
ago.
cool.
They wore it like on a one-off. It's like a gothic font.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Kind
that's
of,
what
and
it
I
looks
kind
like.
of really
Looks
like
some-
it.
Looks
But
like
they
something
just
out of
haven't,
Harry Potter, kind of.
they just haven't worn it in a while. I hate their actual uniforms. Absolutely belong in the F tier. However, these ones, I like how they kind of changed up the font, and I even like the numbering as well is also pretty nice. I don't know how I feel about like this stuff on the sides here, kind of.
It kind of looks cool.
I mean, yeah, it's alright. I think I'd,
Like C.
yeah,
or
I can go
B.
like B. C.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
well,
was
I don't
thinking-
know. What do you think? Like
I
compare
think it's
this
better
or
than
the Michigan
better than
one?
the Michigan one. I think for sure.
I mean, we can also go. We can go like this.
Oh yeah.
We'll do like a C, C plus, C minus.
All right, another one that I think is an F. Those, what is that? Is that Indiana's down there with those?
With the warm ups. Oh, see,
Yeah.
I had to put these in here because if it's up to me,
You
it's
think that-
absolutely going all the way up
What?
here. Dude, I love the
That
warm
looks
ups.
awful. It looks like
Dude,
something
but
like
it's classic though. Like
looks like people are like that's like a Pringle logo or something. They're like sponsored by like I don't know. God, they look like they need to wear a top hat or something.
I mean, I don't know. It's a historic program. They've always had these. Like, I don't know. I think it's also just like different. Like I like the unique stuff every once in a
Yeah, I
while.
guess you're right.
I don't know. What do you? So you think they're here?
So you
I
want to
think
just
they're
go
up
in the
here.
middle? I'll put it. I kind of like them. Just
We're
put
going
it.
with B.
Okay, that'll do.
I refuse to go lower than B. All right, we'll go with what about the actual Indiana uniform?
Nah, that's basic.
I mean, they don't really have any alternate. I feel like it's kind of a lot of like the big basketball brands don't really do as many alternate uniforms. So like, oh, we have to stay true to like our kind of roots, I guess. Like you never really see a Kentucky or any of them doing that.
I mean, I said Wisconsin was basic, so I'll put that in basic. They'll
You
be
think?
D, yeah.
I feel like I don't know.
I feel like
I
they're a
like
little, they're a
this
little,
looks more clean though. Like I'd be more willing to put it here.
They're a little bit better than Wisconsin. Though,
I definitely agree. Like I feel like this is just a classic. The font looks fine.
What's
I
the
like
difference?
the stripes kind of around the neck and the arms there as well.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, yeah, it kind of is better than Penn State. I don't like the color scheme for Penn State.
Yeah.
And that's the same. It's
I
the
don't-
exact same jersey, just different colors.
I think it's fine here.
Yeah.
All right. You want to go with this Maryland one next?
I think they got a lot going on, but I think
Yeah.
I like it a little bit better than most of them.
Seems like Under Armour tries to give Maryland like Oregon type uniforms
Yeah,
because that's
they
where their home base
definitely
is, and they just always fall short of Oregon's uniforms, which are almost every year among the top ones. But I mean, yeah, it's not terrible. I like the gold like lettering here, kind of.
I like the Maryland flag
the
on
way,
the
but yeah,
side.
the side is pretty cool. I almost wish it was like a little bit thinner, but then I guess you couldn't see it as much.
Imagine they had like a jersey that was all the Maryland flag. Like,
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Might be a little bit obnoxious on the
Yeah,
court, that's for
could be.
sure.
I mean, there's Michigan State does have a camo one, so.
Yeah, that's true. But there's at least like the gray.
See, what do you want to put that in B
B. I mean,
or C?
B or C. I don't know. If you're looking at that compared to Michigan, Indiana, or Northwestern, like.
I feel like it's better than those ones.
You think it's better than them?
I think it's just below Northwestern and in between Michigan.
All right, we'll do some rearranging. We'll go put that out here. Move that here. This there. That there. Bingo.
Alright.
All right, final two.
Well, I don't
I'll
like.
go with Minnesota first, because,
Okay, yeah. You say where you have, because I think I have something different than what you think about Minnesota's.
I mean, I don't know. It's just a basic uniform, I guess. I mean, it's really not much different than anything like the Wisconsin uniform. Honestly, the fonts are like pretty damn similar, compared. It's just not even like a. I don't know if I really like Indiana has the curve and the lettering there along with like Penn State, and this is just straight across the board. And it's I almost find it weird that it's like blocked off, kind of the top and bottom, that all the letters like the same exact size. So.
I think Minnesota's either F or D because they have some like McDonald's colored scheme right there. And it's like
I mean,
it's like a bad.
All right, can they
it's a-
do
it's a
anything about
bad-
the color though?
It's a bad maroon, and then I don't know what is that a green stripe down there?
I think it's more of like just a yellowish. It's just their colors. But yeah,
That
they,
kind of looks green.
I don't know.
Bunch of different colors. I think you stick it in F or D.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's the worst. I think I'll put it in D. I don't think it's as bad as like these.
Makes sense.
But I mean,
The last one,
see.
Illinois.
Last one, Illinois. I personally love this uniform. To be honest, I like the font with Illinois just looks good when it's done in that like cursive script there, and I love like the stripe, kind of blue and orange stripe there. I think it just looks clean. Honestly, and they're not trying to do too much with the uniform. but it still looks really good at the same time. So I'd be willing to put it somewhere. Right?
Yeah, I think A. It kind of reminds me
A?
of like Syracuse colors, kind of.
Yeah, I do like
but
the
different.
uniforms as well. So
I like the orange and blue color scheme too. Looks pretty cool.
You think you're good with that? All right. Do we have any?
Do you want to move anything?
Last minute adjustments. I'm trying to look at everything we got here, compare them. All right, I might do this.
Yeah, get the Sprite ones down.
Belongs at the bottom.
I don't know who decided to put lime in there, but they just messed up big time.
But other than that, like,
I think it's pretty good.
I like it. I'm sure many people have different opinions.
Oh yeah, especially the people who are fans of these teams.
Oh yeah, I guarantee some people absolutely love these Michigan State
uniforms.
uniforms.
I know.
That's not our problem.
It's
not
our
opinion,
problem.
so
Yeah.
we can think what we want. But I think I'm good to go.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right. Moving on to our next topic, the women's basketball season has gotten underway recently, and Carolyn Keeger has her crew at 2-0 this season. But her team's going to be starting Big Ten play shortly, and the Big Ten is just an absolute juggernaut of a conference this year. There's a number of scary-looking teams. So, what games are you really looking forward to this season, Spencer?
I'm really looking forward to see them play the big bad team in the Big Ten, which is currently 3-0, and the number 3 ranked team in the country in the AP poll, which is Maryland. I really think Penn State faces off of them twice this season. The first game's on the new year with January 6th, so right into the new year, right into the Big time competition. They have Ashley Owusu, who won the Big Ten Freshman of the Year in 2020 and the Big Ten Tournament MVP in both 2020 and 2021. And she currently averages 14.3 points per game. And now the Persians have a new emerging player in their leading scorer, sophomore Angel Reese, who made the All-Big Ten team in 2021, and she currently averages 18.7 points per game. So you got two-headed monster right there with the offensive weapons. They're the reigning Big Ten champs, knocking off Iowa 104-84, so pretty dominant team. And it's the second year in a row that they won the Big Ten tournament. But they have their first Big Test coming up against number 7 Baylor, which I think will be a good Big 12 matchup with them. And then it looks like they're going to have a better run since last year they lost to Texas pretty badly. They just by 4 or by 3. I feel like this game could end up being a beatdown, but I feel like Penn State is flying high right now with like 2 wins and all these easy teams. So I think a team like Maryland and an elite like Maryland will show Penn State where it needs to be for the rest of the season. So I think, they'll be a good team to watch out for.
Yeah, that Baylor game could be an interesting one to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I know, Penn State had a transfer, Kamari McDaniel, who went there, who was their leading scorer kind of the very first year of the Carolyn Keeger era, I think. And I think she's still there. I can't really say I keep up with Baylor women's basketball that much, but I think I also might agree with you there that I just think that that Maryland team might be a little bit outside of the reach of Carolyn Keeger's team at this point. She's still only in her third year, I think it is now. So, there's definitely room to grow there.
Yeah.
I don't think they're quite at that level yet.
Yeah, I feel like playing Maryland is like, this is what we're trying to be at, is this level.
Yeah, who isn't?
Yeah.
That's for sure. But, see, some games I'm looking forward to, this is kind of a one-off thing, but they're playing Clemson this season, and I think this is kind of, Clemson, I think they made the second round of the NIT last season in tournament there, and I think that Penn State kind of wants to be at that level, if not better this season. I know, Carolyn Keeger's kind of established some pretty high expectations for the team this season, and justifiably so. They have pretty much all their leading scorers coming back. They have a transfer from George Washington and Allie Brigham, who's already proved really instrumental to the team. She's averaging over 20 a game, shooting really just an astounding 73% from the field. So is that going to continue through the whole season? No, definitely not. I don't know if anyone can keep up those type of numbers. But, it's going to be interesting to see they're playing an out-of-conference team to kind of see how it stacks up with an ACC opponent like Clemson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so too. I think an ACC team that is at their level will be good competition for them early on. I think they play them pretty soon, right?
Yeah, I think it's their next game or the second to next game.
So I think that'll be definitely a good game to watch out for, and I think maybe a game that Penn State could win.
Yep, for sure.
Potentially. And a win over a big-name team like Clemson, that would boost their morale a little bit, getting into Big Ten play. But another Big Ten team that I think that has a ton of playmakers is Iowa. They're 3-0 in the season. They have this girl, Caitlin Clark, averages the second most points per game in all of the Big Ten with 23, so she's definitely an offensive weapon. They're just an offensive powerhouse, currently averaging 88.7 points per game, compared to their opponents' 55 points per game. So, they're just destroying teams. But, start of the season, so they're not playing better teams. They're trying to boost their morale. They're trying to dominate them. And then, I mean, most of Penn State's points this season, like you said, come from Allie Brigham, who averages 21.5, like you said. And then Iowa's the Nittany Lions' third Big Ten opponent after facing off of the powerful Indiana, who I think will be really good this season, and Rutgers, who's also pretty good, but I think maybe a team that Penn State can win. So, I mean, if Penn State manages to squeak out a game or win against Indiana or Rutgers or Iowa, I feel like that could be a big boost for the rest of the season for them.
Yeah, I mean, that Iowa game will be interesting. I remember watching them play last season. It's just kind of astounding how good Caitlin Clark looks on the court. I mean, she's just so fluid out there. Her shot is pure. She's just a great facilitator and a great scorer. Really kind of the full package that you look for in a guard out there on the court. And that's why she's one of the best players in the country, kind of without a doubt. And she's going to be probably the favorite, if not the co-favorite, for Big Ten Player of the Year this season.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at some other Big Ten games on the schedule here that I think could be pretty important games for the team this season. I see Ohio State kind of coming up, and I think Penn State's big win last season, kind of the signature win of the season, was over an Ohio State team that was ranked, I think they were number 15 in the country at the time that Penn State beat them last season. So, I mean, that Buckeyes team is definitely going to be looking for revenge this season, of course, and I think they're ranked number 21 in the AP poll currently, so obviously still a very good team, and they have a balanced scoring attack so far this season. No one's really kind of leading the way in any specific category. They have a number of people who are scoring. I mean, they lost their star from last season, Dorka Juhas, who was one of the premier players in the conference. So without her, it's going to be interesting to see what player develops for the Buckeyes there and how Penn State can match up with them.
Yeah, I feel like Penn State definitely has some weapons this year to take down these big-name teams and potentially pull off upsets and boost their morale, like I said earlier, to get them into more wins for the rest of the season.
Yeah, for sure. And then going on that, you talked about Rutgers a little bit. You mentioned them earlier, and I mean, they played Penn State twice in a row at the end of last season. I remember their first game got postponed, so they played pretty much back-to-back. I think there was only a day or two separating those games, but they beat Penn State twice in a row last season. First time it was by like 5 points, second time by 18, I believe. And I mean, but this team is just really different this year. I mean, they lost pretty much all of their top scorers from last season, so it's kind of the opposite of the Penn State team. That has pretty much everyone back, and it has, if not, added even more kind of scoring to that lineup. So it's going to be interesting to see how these teams match up. I mean, as I said earlier, Carolyn Keeger's expectations are pretty high for this team, and I think, frankly, this is the team that the Nittany Lions really need to beat if they want to be kind of moving in that upper echelon of the conference. So I think this Rutgers team isn't as good as they were in the past, and I think Penn State kind of needs to show that they're ready to make the next step kind of into that hierarchy of the conference.
Yeah, and they play Rutgers their second Big Ten game of the season, so I think they could definitely play spoiler in that game and come out and shock a lot of people.
I think without a doubt. Going to be one to keep watch on.
Well, that's all we have for this episode of Sports Speak. We'll be back for another episode next week.
If you want to get any more sports content from the Collegian or any other kind of news, feel free to visit the Collegian website. And if you'd like to see these podcasts or any other phenomenal digital content from the Collegian, please consider subscribing to the Collegian YouTube channel. Thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of your week.